Luckily, I stored most part of the provisions in the hut. I reckon we've enough food put by to last us for a full 10 days.
Well, that's if you're willing to board us, Tom. But it's not right that you and Piney should go short for us. Any case, Uncle Billy will likely be back with provisions in a day or two. Go check what we've gotten laid by in there, will you?
Right away, Mr. Oakhurst.
What's this nonsense about Uncle Billy coming back with provisions?
Shh, no,
Why,
Mother.
you know darn well we'll never see him
Sure, I
again.
know, Mother, but don't let on to the kids. They'll find out the truth about all of us when they find out anything. And there's no good scaring them now.
But they know he's gone and taken the mules.
Yeah. But I told him I'd guessed he must have wandered from the camp and stampeded them accidentally. I told him he'd likely be back when he'd caught them again, if he ever did.
And they believe that?
Kids can believe anything. They don't have to believe that a man can be as mean and bad as that.
Oh, that
No,
old
if you'll stop all this cussing, they'll believe what we seem to believe.
Well, we ain't likely to starve for quite a while yet, ma'am. There's plenty of food to last us for a day or two if we go easy on it. We'll have a good camp for a week, and then the snow will melt, and we'll all go back together.
Not to Poker Flat, we won't.
No, we'll all go back to Sandy Bar. Then we'll have Tom and Piney hide out in the woods while the rest of us go on into town and get them some more mules and provisions. Then we'll see them on their way again. Ain't that right, Tom?
Oh, I guess that'll be the best, Mr. Oakhurst, if you're not coming back to Poker Flat with us.
Well, that we're not. It ain't any more healthy back there at Poker Flat.
And Mother Shipton means we don't any of us like some of the folk who settle in there lately, Tom.
Why? Are they bad folk, you mean?
Well, I guess they're just folk we don't seem to get along with. Which is why we're trying our luck in Sandy Bar, just like you decided to try your luck in Poker Flat.
Oh, here's Piney. Hello there, honey. My, that's an armful of wood you've gotten.
The snow's getting real deep under the trees. We'd best lay in a stack of wood before it gets all buried under.
Well, that's right. If it gets any thicker, we won't even be able to get at the trees.
Well, come on, everyone. While we're all eating Tom and Piney's food, the least we can do is to fetch the wood for them. After all, if it hadn't been for us, they'd have been happily married by now.
Poor kids.
We don't mind, do we, Tom? It'll be fun having a camp up here for a day or two.
That's right, honey.
The cheerful gaiety of the young couple and Mr. Oakhurst's calm infected the other two. The innocent, with the aid of pine boughs, extemporized a thatch for the roofless cabin, and the Duchess directed Piney in the rearrangement of the interior with a taste and a tact that left her gayer still. That evening, when Mr. Oakhurst returned from yet another weary search for the trail, he heard the sound of singing, and happy laughter echoed from the rocks. He stopped in some alarm, thinking of the whiskey that he'd prudently hidden. And if this didn't somehow sound like whiskey. What's going on here? Everybody seems very happy.
Why, hello, Mr. Oakhurst. I brought this old guitar along with me in my pack, and I was giving the ladies a bit of a tune to cheer them up. Did you find the trail?
Not a sign of it. The snow's too soft to walk in. I guess there's no help for it. We'll just have to sit tight till it goes.
Sit down and have some supper, Mr. Oakhurst. It's good and warm here by the fire.
Thanks, Piney, but I'm not really hungry.
Not hungry? But you must be. You haven't eaten all day. Come on, have some of this cornbread.
Well, just a bite, then. Thank you.
I'll give you another tune to help your appetite.
But the luck didn't change. The third day came, and the sun, looking through the white-curtained valley, saw the outcasts divide their slowly decreasing store of provisions for the day. It also revealed drift on drift of snow piled high around the hut. A hopeless, uncharted, trackless sea of white lying below the rocky shores to which the castaways still clung. Through the marvelously clear air, the smoke of the pastoral village of Poker Flat rose miles away.
Poker Flat. May it burn in all the fires of hell.
Still cussing, Mother, or the kids will hear you.
Oh, no, they won't. I never cuss when they're around. But it sure does me good to cuss when I can. I wish something would do me good. Just you go out there and see that smoke rising from Poker Flat and cuss and cuss. You just see if you don't feel better. Well, I'll go see after the gal. She must be feeling pretty bad, poor thing. With Tom out of the camp. Where's he gone? Oh, getting wood if he can dig any out and looking for the trail, which he'll never find.
So, with food and their hopes dwindling, a week passed over the heads of the outcasts. The sun again forsook them, and again from leaden skies the snowflakes were sifted over the land. Day by day, closer around them grew the snowy circle, until at last they looked from their prison over drifted walls of dazzling white that towered 20 feet above their heads. It became more and more difficult to replenish the fires, even from the fallen trees beside them, now completely hidden in the drifts. Yet no one complained. The lovers turned from the dreary prospect and looked into each other's eyes and were happy. Mr. Oakhurst settled himself coolly to the losing game before him. Only Mother Shipton seemed to sicken and fade.
Is that you, Oakhurst?
Yeah, Mother, it's me. How are you feeling?
I'm going, Oakhurst. But don't say nothing about it. Don't waken the kids. Take this bundle from under my head. Open it. That's right.
Where's this food come from? Had you hidden it?
It's my rations for the last 7 days. I just didn't eat it, that's all. I haven't been hiding it for myself. Given to the kids. Piney.
You've starved yourself, you mean?
That's what they call it.
Is there anything I can do for you, Mother?
Yes. You can lay me to rest. Don't let the kids know.
That night, her face turned to the wall, Mother Shipton passed quietly away. When her body had been buried in the snow next morning, Mr. Oakhurst moved away from the others and began to work away savagely at the pack saddle with his bowie knife.
What's that you're making, Mr. Oakhurst?
Well, if you can call it making. Been cutting up this old pack saddle, try and make a pair of snowshoes. If you can get to walk in them, there's one chance in 100 to save her yet, Tom.
Piney.
Yep. We don't have to fool ourselves any longer, Tom. Poor old Mother Shipton's gone. And another 3 or 4 days. Well, if you can reach Poker Flat in these 2 days, she'll likely still be alive when you get back with the rescue gang.
And you?
I'll stay here. Say, try these on. Huh?
Sure.
I'll bind them to your ankles. How's that? How do they feel?
Well, they feel fine. Here where the snow's hard.
Come and try them here where it's soft. They feel firm enough when you walk.
Yeah?
Because if you lose them out there in the soft snow, well, they work loose.
Oh, I'll be all right.
It's our only chance, Tom.
Oh, I know.
Where you going, Tom? Can you walk in those things?
Well, I can try.
Where you going?
I'm going to try and reach Poker Flat and fetch help.
Oh, Tom, it ain't safe. You'll never make it. Oh, Tom, stay here with me.
Now, I'll be all right, honey. It's our only chance. If the snow holds like it's doing...
Oh, but Tom, if
Well,
anything...
Tom will be all right, Piney. He's going to take some of the food that's left, and with those snowshoes on, he'll be down to Poker Flat in a day and a night, and then he'll bring help.
He'll be all right, dear. I'll be here with you. Nothing will go wrong. It's the only thing we can do.
Oh, goodbye, honey. I'll be back.
Bye, darling. Be careful.
I will. But look after her, Duchess.
You can trust me, Tom. Good luck.
Good luck.
Are you going too, Mr. Oakhurst?
As far as the canyon, Duchess.
Mr. Oakhurst turned suddenly and kissed her, leaving the pallid face of the Duchess aflame and her trembling limbs rigid. He helped the innocent to climb the breast of the snowbank and staggered after him, plunging waist deep in the treacherous drift. In a couple of minutes, both were out of sight. Night came, but not Mr. Oakhurst. It brought the storm again and the whirling snow. Then the Duchess, feeding the fire, found that someone had quietly piled beside the hut enough fuel to last a few days longer. The tears rose to her eyes, but she hid them from Piney. The women slept but little. In the morning, looking into each other's faces, they read their fates. Neither spoke, but Piney, accepting the position of the stronger, drew near and placed her arm around the Duchess's waist. They kept this attitude for the rest of the day. That night, the storm reached its greatest fury, and rending asunder the protecting pines, invaded the very hut. Toward morning, they found themselves unable to feed the fire. which gradually died away. As the embers slowly blackened, the Duchess crept closer to Piney and broke the silence of many hours.
Piney,
Yes, Duchess.
Piney, can you pray?
No, honey.
It don't matter.
Come rest your head on my shoulder, honey. There. That's better.
Piney,
Yes, honey.
goodbye.
Not goodbye. Just good night.
Good night, Piney.
The wind lulled as if it feared to waken them. Feathery drifts of snow, shaken from the long pine boughs, flew like white-winged birds and settled about them as they slept. The moon, through the rifted clouds, looked down upon what had been the camp. But all human stain, all trace of earthly travail, was hidden beneath the spotless mantle mercifully flung from above. They slept all that day and the next. Nor did they waken when voices and footsteps broke the silence of the camp. And when pitying fingers brushed the snow from their wan faces, you could scarcely have told from the equal peace that dwelt upon them which was she that had sinned. Even the law of Poker Flat felt this, and turned away, leaving them still locked in each other's arms. But at the head of the gulch, on one of the largest pine trees, they found the deuce of clubs pinned to the bark with a bowie knife. It bore a message written in pencil with a firm hand.
Beneath this tree lies the body of John Oakhurst, who struck a streak of bad luck on the 23rd of November, 1850, and handed in his checks on the 7th of December, 1850.
And pulseless and cold, with a derringer by his side and a bullet in his heart, lay he who had been at once the strongest and yet the weakest of the outcasts of Poker Flat. This is Laurence Olivier again. I should like to thank our cast who appeared in this week's adaptation of Bret Harte's story, The Outcasts of Poker Flat. They included Bessie Love, Margot Stevenson and Lois McLean, Lionel Merton, John Farrell, MacDonald Park, and Arthur Hill. I shall next week, as usual, be looking forward to the pleasure of presenting and playing in another play. Until then, au revoir, and thank you.
Sir Laurence Olivier starred in today's transcribed program. The script was by Derek Patmore. The music was under the direction of Sidney Torch. Theatre Royal is an NBC presentation, produced and directed by Harry Allen Towers.
Hear the big preview with Maury Amsterdam and Fred Robbins on the NBC Radio Network.